Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Did You Hear That podcast with Eric. We decided we weren't going to point last time because I don't know which way he's going to be.
I'm in this area.
He's somewhere here in the ether. Today's guest is the God Samaritan, one of the most lyrically intensive, well-versed rappers that I have ever met.
Stop.
Yeah, no. I have known him for a couple of years.
You write pretty words, pretty consistent.
He writes good words. So let's ask him about him. Eric, would you like to
start?
Hi guys, that's me. I'm the God Samaritan.
Yeah, do you
think? That's all I have to say.
So yes, Cody, we're so grateful to have you on our show this evening or afternoon, whatever time this is being listened at. The song that we're going to be kind of picking apart today is Let It Burn.
Tear my heart to pieces, let it drift into the ether. Repetition setting in, it seems I can't escape the sequence. I've been living for the weekend, kill myself to cure the boredom. Find no comfort being home alone, there's no one left to keep me from it. Saw the two was all the new before you change beside the moves. No matter how we rearrange, it's how the roam, the sorrow looms. I stay awake to deprivate the sleep I need to keep me sane. You visit me in spectral states, it's comforting to feel your grace. I don't see a way out now, I'd rather stay down. The table that you made me is the center of my place now. I place these flowers on it, seek asylum at your holy shrine. Tending to your garden brings me peace and keeps me occupied. Think I'm getting low again, manic in my best moments. Monophobic all alone, I'm scrawling tones but don't record them. Lost inside the borderline, disordered place, my sordid mind. You helped me sort through all the fights, I couldn't see the source of skies. Finally see the light, I should've listened when the bell tolled. I'm finished wasting time on all these heart-to-hearts with echoes. The table that you made me can be stable when I felt low, but I can't let you go until the part with my mementos. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn slowly. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn slowly. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn slowly. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn slowly.
Obviously, we've dug through it where I'm actually like a pretty big fan of the song just in general. I've definitely had it on a couple playlists so far. Yeah, of course. But I know that, like myself, you're very you put a lot of thought into everything that you put down in your songs. And I know that like you like to dive into a lot of like personal like ideas and that kind of stuff, and really be really honest with your art. I really I've noticed that, and I really appreciate that about the music you've done in the past. And so like kind of like this is kind of like the opportunity for you to like, you know, just really dive into the specific parts of your music that you haven't really gotten to yet with like fans or people you really want to like, you know, you really want them to see like the depth of this idea that you've created. So we've got like specific questions for you and everything like that too, but also is there like any specific part of this song that really just like, this is like the meat of the song to you? Like this is the most important part?
Yes, actually. So not a lot of people know this. Maybe some people have put the pieces together. I don't know. I haven't fished for those answers. But Let It Burn is actually the spiritual end to my last EP as Good Samaritan. I never thought I'd write songs about you, because that EP, it was all about me cycling through the stages of grief of the end of a relationship, trying to reach acceptance. And the EP ends with like I'm losing the word for it, a refrain of I can't let go. So it's just a cycle of the 4 stages of grief without acceptance. And Let It Burn, I end it with I can't let you go until I part with my mementos, and it's about finally moving on and like starting anew. So it is,
Dude.
it's like it's the end, like the end of my my last project, like Let It Burn. It was the end of my last project and the beginning of my new project, the God Samaritan, as well as the end of that EP.
When I know that when you shot that video, you actually did really burn something in effigy as well. Like, is there, like, what's the story behind all that?
Okay, so that relationship that ended when we moved in together, my partner, she spent weeks working on this really cool table. She found a Goodwill table, and she was very crafty and just like spent weeks like cutting out like old school Batman comics and like making it like a really cool old school Batman comic table. And even when the relationship ended, I kept that table. I kept telling myself it's because it was dope as fuck. And it was a really cool table, but I realized I wasn't going to be able to move on with my life if I had like that. It was just it was bright yellow. It was like just this huge reminder every time I stepped into my room. So yeah, I literally burnt it to the ground.
Dude, I love that. That's so cool.
Thank you.
And see, I had listened to that 100 times, and I had thought that it was more symbolic, and I didn't realize there was a real table.
Yep.
I thought that the table itself was more a pedestal or like symbolic.
Yep, I propped it up like that because it also was, but it was also a very real table that had haunted me for way longer than it should have because I didn't want to get rid of it.
Did you, just out of curiosity, did you write this song as a means to form that like opportunity to burn the table, or did you just kind of like decide?
Yes and no. Because what had happened was I wrote that EP and I clearly wasn't over things. And like you said, I've always been very honest with my music. So I started writing a new EP that wasn't really honest with the situation. Like it was, I wanted to be more hopeful with my next batch of songs. And so in the middle of recording that EP, that's when I took a break from music because I wasn't liking the direction it was going. And Let It Burn, like once I took that break and I stepped away and I took that hiatus away from music, that was the first really honest song I wrote about the situation. And it didn't really start out like in the beginning like I'm gonna write this song about burning the table, but when it came when it came time to finish the song, because I wrote most of it in like a 30-minute span, and then I just didn't have an end for it because I didn't want to forge another ending and write something dishonest. Once I wrote that ending and I figured out what I wanted to do with the song, that is when it turned into, yes, I need to get rid of this thing that is just a huge reminder of something that I haven't been able to let go of.
Gotcha. So that's how you formulated the Let It Burn slowly kind of chanting part. Yep. That's really cool. That's a cool part of that story. Okay, so I wanted to go through some specific lyrics. Let's see. Hold on. Where do I want to start? We've got.
Like me to put them up on the screen?
Oh, can we do that?
Yes, we can.
So fancy. Hell yeah.
Oh, what? That's so cool. Okay. Are you just like screen sharing? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so in the first stanza, I circled drift into the ether because I thought that was really fun. Tear my heart to pieces, let them drift into the ether. I just thought that was really cool imagery because the idea of like a floating, almost like it kind of like the ether always evokes the imagery of like space and emptiness and the void. And so I just thought that was a really cool like starting point, was this part of like being disseminated into nothing.
Yes.
His heart was made of paper.
He's in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. That's a song that ain't out yet.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. That is a really good example of like how I felt. Because when I wrote, I never thought I'd write songs about you. You guys have heard it. It was a very, very honest album, almost to a fault. I got really extremely personal. Like I tore myself apart, and then the only thing I had left to do, because like I wasn't ready to heal, was I sort of just let the pieces of myself drift into the ether. Like once I was done with that EP, I went into this just state of like numbness and like
emotionally catatonic.
Yeah, just it just felt empty. Like I thought that once I dropped that EP, I was gonna be able to just move on and get better, but I did all of that and I put myself through all of that, and it wasn't as cathartic as I thought it was. I just felt vacant.
Yeah, man. Actually, you know, I was thinking something that might be kind of interesting that we can try to experiment with on this episode, because we haven't been able to do the screen sharing with the lyrics before yet. Cody, I have like stuff highlighted that I want to ask questions about, but if you want to like read through a specific section and just kind of like share your mind state, or like I don't know, what do you think? Is that something you want to try, or?
Yeah, we if you want to start off with like specific things that you want to touch on, because I don't want to step on your toes, but there's a few things I can definitely point out.
Yeah. So we're still trying to figure out some of the format of this podcast and like what like will definitely work the best. So we can keep running with how we were doing it. But yeah, if there's any things that like jumps out to you, definitely like chime in and like share your piece. That's mostly what this is about, is making sure that your like the vision that you have for your song is as fully expressed as it can be.
Okay.
Well, let's ask
absolutely.
this then. Maybe we can frame it differently. What is your favorite lyric from this song?
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay. My favorite lyric would be lost inside the borderline, disorder plagues my sordid mind. You helped me sort through all the fights I couldn't see the swords disguised. That was, like I told you, I wrote most of this song in a span of like 30 minutes. And then it just it was just months where I didn't finish it. And in that time period, I went to therapy. I got officially diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And I started understanding why this was so intense for me and why I wasn't able to like let go of this. Because I was lost inside a mental illness I didn't understand how to fight, much less really understand that it was there.
Yeah.
The reason I was so attached to this person, because she was the first person who obviously like she didn't know what I was going through either, but I felt understood by her, and like she helped me see like what some of my issues were, like the symptoms, not the underlying cause, but she was the first person who like helped me work on myself.
Yeah, and call out the red flags and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude. and like figure that out. So like the disguised swords, the swords I didn't even see, the things that were hurting me that I didn't even understand at the time.
Yeah, and honestly, like just from an artistic perspective, I love the flow of that portion. The way that like you like the rhyme scheme, like it just like bounces around like that. That's a ton of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's. Go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead, man.
I think that's like a really beautiful thing that you touched on. The idea of like how there's I think that sometimes as humans we get used to our normal being the standard, when in reality it can be that what's normal to us can actually be a very broken version of what's healthy and regular for anybody else. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't know those things until we're shown the truth of that situation. And whether that's like a diagnosis or like meeting people that can help you understand yourself better, or like taking whatever steps it means to understand yourself better. I think that, it's cool that you're addressing that kind of stuff in your music. I think it's really beautiful that idea is becoming like more mainstream.
Please check us out.
Like people are being comfortable with saying that kind of thing out loud, being like, hey, like I have this thing that makes me different from other people, like with myself being anxiety and depression, and just being like upfront and honest with the idea that it's like it doesn't define who I am as a person, but it's a reality for me, and it's something that does make things that might be easy for other people difficult for me as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, because you're absolutely correct. It is getting more mainstream, and it's getting like people are more comfortable to talk about it. If I would have been more comfortable like with my own emotions and recognizing that I needed therapy, because it was pretty obvious I was a pretty broken individual, and I definitely needed help. And I'm sorry for my dogs barking; they do that a lot.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's just like the fact that it has definitely helped me that it's become more of the norm where people talk about this stuff. And I hope that me talking about it in my music helps other people the way that, other people have helped me by talking about their issues.
Yeah, because it's so incredibly beneficial to be the one talking about it, but also to have that solidarity of other people talking about it, making it not quite so frightening to address it yourself. I think that's in and of itself is incredibly healing to the community. So even if you never directly see any fruits of that in yourself or in like immediate moments, I think it's important to know that you just doing that impacts people's lives in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely feels good, like knowing that I'm like making an impact on people, even if they don't tell me directly. Like if people connect with my music, I know that it's doing something for them, because like that's what it's there for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sharing that part of your soul so somebody else can connect with it too. Let's see. Oh, okay. I had a question about, I place these flowers on it, seek asylum at your holy shrine, tending to your garden brings me peace and keeps me occupied. I really love the flow of that, but I also really liked the garden imagery. And I wondered if there was like anything in your life that like specifically inspired that, like what was happening in your mind when you were kind of envisioning writing out those lines and everything?
What I envisioned was, like I said, the table was a very real thing. It was always like the centerpiece of my room. And so when I'm pretty introverted, especially at this time in my life. I didn't really see a lot of people. So like having this as the centerpiece of my room and trying to make my room pretty, like this was like my entertainment stand, really. And so literally it was like putting flowers on it, putting candles, like making it really, really pretty. And like, that's where I spent most of my time, was right there at that table.
Yeah. So like when you say tending to that garden, it's like almost like just caring for that thing that otherwise wouldn't flourish without your attention, kind of thing.
Yes. Both like making it look pretty physically and just like spending all of that time there, like cultivating a garden of somebody who's not there anymore. Like that's why I wasn't able to let go, is because I kept on feeding into it by having that be like a direct physical memory all the time that was in front of me.
Yeah, that's a real thing, that symbology and that connection that like makes it hard to let go of, when that internal neural reflexes like to think about the person the second you see that object in the room, especially if it's bright yellow and like a centerfold.
Yeah, it was like a huge red flag, but yellow.
Dude,
like a giant sore thumb.
Yeah, just such a bad. And every time anybody came into my room, that's the first thing they asked about. And they're like, "Oh, where'd you get it?" And I'm like, "I got a story to tell you."
That's awful. I'm so sorry.
No, I did it to myself. That's why I burnt it.
I want to point out the beauty of the line of "Solitude was all I knew before you changed my solemn moods. No matter how I rearrange this hollow room, the sorrow looms."
Yeah, that's
come on, are you kidding me?
Like I know I just my own lyrics, but that would hit.
We will edit that out. No, that is like I really do love that as like part of kind of like it. I don't know if that's like a hallmark of your style, but that's like definitely something you do really well in several of your songs, is create like an interesting flow. Because there is like as like a fellow musician in this category, like, you know, there's a part of it where you're like you're trying to find like the pocket, you know, and like find that flow that like fits like perfect over a thing, but also you want to like bring a unique take to it, because literally everyone can hit, like, well, not everyone, but like, you know, the pocket is easy to find, you know. And so like I really appreciate like when you bounce around like typical rhyme structures and like and throw like extra internal rhymes inside the like stanza and everything. I think that's excellent. I appreciate that.
Thank you. That comes from my extensive background in spoken word poetry, because I didn't necessarily need to be in the pocket. I just needed to sort of be on rhythm for it to still be considered musical, rather than just me screaming over music. So yeah, once I started like writing hip hop music, I needed to be more structured, but I still like to bring like the very dense like rhyme schemes on top of like finding the pockets and keeping a good flow. Like I want to keep my rhyme schemes as dense as possible and make everything like feel like it's rhyming with something else without just sounding like I'm babbling nonsense.
Do you ever listen to Aesop Rock?
I do.
Okay, yeah, I
Yep.
was gonna say, like, I mean, I feel like if anyone's done their work on lyrical artists, they've come across him. But yeah, like he does. That was one of the things that first caught my eye about artists like that. That like he literally has songs where he's just talking about like walking to a donut shop in his town, and like it just sounds like unbelievable art. Like it's just like so like mysterious and beautiful.
Yeah, he is incredible. Like he is one of the masters of doing exactly what I talked about. Like everything is rhyming with something else, and it all sounds so interesting. And just he just uses words that like you've never heard before and rhymes them with like words you wouldn't even like think would would rhyme with it. He's absolutely beautiful. He is one of the people who inspire my writing.
Definitely, and I can hear that some of that influence in there for sure. That's really cool. I did have a couple more questions. So let's see. You have in the last section of the song. Oh, also I wanted to say monophobic. Excellent word choice. I learned a new word by listening to your song.
Yes.
Monophobic. Excellent.
We were talking about how with Avi about how like we had chosen his song Dowsing for a very specific juxtaposition with yours because it's so few words versus a very dense word structure that had a lot of different intricacies in it. So it was
new words even. Yeah.
New words for us.
Yeah. So. Okay, so in this last section you say, finally see the light. I should have listened when the bell tolled. I'm finished wasting time on all these heart to hearts with echoes. What is a heart to heart with an echo? Tell us more.
It's really just like holding on to a love that's no longer there. Like trying to like, having heart to hearts, like trying to like almost like fix things when a love is no longer there. Like whether you're like actually trying to fix the thing with the person, or if you're just still in denial, if you haven't reached that 5th stage of grief that I was reaching at the end of this verse. If you're still going through the first 4 stages of grief. So that's what I consider the heart to heart with echoes. Like it's really just cool. The memory of a person rather than, someone who's there.
That's really cool. I like that because like my first thought, whenever I typically am writing about echoes, I'm usually writing about like echo chambers and people who don't aren't talking about original ideas and that kind of stuff. And so to hear that, I can totally see what you're talking about now that I look at it. But it's just interesting how that changes my perspective, hearing your intention versus my comparison originally. Because I was thinking you were talking about having conversations with people who were just telling you what they thought you wanted to hear and how you're just like, this is not helping me either kind of thing, I thought that's really cool. And then, the only other one I had highlighted was, I can't let you go until I part with my mementos. And that's basically, I wanted to make sure we touched on the story of actually burning and getting rid of the table.
Oh yeah. That was a whole lot of fun. I burnt the table with John Hosmeyer during our shoot, and both of us almost caught on fire.
Heck yeah!
For the preview of it, like when we were announcing it, I had a bag over my head, and like I had my hands tied, and I was just like I was on my knees. And so I could kind of see the fire, and it was almost going out, and they were like, you got to put some more gas on the fire. And like right when they put gas on the fire, the wind blew my direction. And like I had to do like a cool ass ninja ninja back
oh my gosh.
like ninja backdrop, so it wouldn't just burst me into flames. And yeah, there was so many times people almost caught fire. Like someone got like burned on their ankles when they were like holding the torches. It was a whole lot of fire, whole lot of pain, but it looked really, really cool. So dude, like, I'm sorry I almost cost the lives of multiple friends to let go of this table, but God damn it, I did it.
I feel like that's catharsis. That's just like the level of commitment it must have needed.
Yeah. I'm really glad my friends were there to put their bodies on the line for it.
Oh, let's be honest.
Even that's like, that'll preach, bro.
Well, let's
like that burn hitting you too. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, let's be honest. It's not the first time you've made your friends cry in public.
That is true.
I was gonna say, like, it's very metaphorical of like your pain even like ricochets even on the people you love. That's just how it goes.
Absolutely. Big shouts out to Alice, by the way, from Street Burrito. She definitely got burnt the hardest. I feel so bad, but
Poor
yeah,
Alice.
she's a trooper. So thank you for helping out with that. You're a gem, and I love you.
So I was just gonna say we closing up?
I was gonna say, Sean, if you have any other specific questions for him.
I was just gonna say, kind of our last question we've been asking people is, what is your favorite lyric, kind of overall, from a favorite artist? You know, whether it be all time or right now, kind of just one that's sticking with you.
That is a good question.
Even if it's not the most profound lyric, like what's just kind of like playing in your head right now? You just like you can't let go of, and why, or that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, the one that like really stuck out to me, and like it's kind of a simple lyric, but it really just defined the kind of music I wanted to make. Was my favorite artist, Sadistic. He dropped an album called Albums for My Father, and I'm extremely tired, so I can't even name the specific song right now, but he starts off a verse with, I'm a victim of an overactive limbic system. And like just that imagery, and like I learned a new word, and it was just such a blatant like image of like I am struggling with my own mental illness, and that's what's wrong with me. Like my brain is attacking me. Like that really stuck out to me, and I'm like, that's the kind of music I want to make. That's what I want to feel, or make people feel with my music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like once I learned what that meant, because I had no idea what the fuck that was. I was like, what is a limbic system? I didn't go to school. And so just stuff like that. Not my favorite lyric of all time, but that's the one that sticks out to me.
Yeah, but it inspired you. That I definitely see why that would be an important lyric to you. It definitely speaks to a lot of the reasons you do your music. That's really cool.
Yeah, it really stuck out to me. Just that I love it. I love it.
Cool. Well, is there anything that you want to like promo before we let you go?
Yes, two things. One, when is this dropping?
It'll probably drop like the 2nd or 3rd week of October.
Okay, dope. I will have a song coming out October 27th called Albatross. It's a collaboration with LOAM. It fucking slaps. Pre-save it, please. Follow me on Spotify. And just, check it out when it comes out October 27th. Second thing, it's not a promo for me, but I did I did do a Kickstarter pre-recorded show for a place called The Den that's opening up in Prescott. It is Prescott's like first like actual music venue, and they're doing some dope shit there. Steven from Narwhal is opening it up. And just I'm so inspired by what I saw yesterday. The venue is beautiful. Their mission is beautiful. They're trying to bring a culture to Prescott that really desperately needs it. If you've seen some videos there, and they're 70% of the way there. And yeah, that's what this Kickstarter is for. Like we're gonna change Prescott with The Den. It is a phenomenal venue. Check it out whenever it drops. I'm not sure when the Kickstarter concert is dropping, but just support The Den with all you have at The Den AZ.
Awesome.
Sounds good, man. Well, thank you so much.
Links.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. Y'all are wonderful.
Thank you, Cody. It was an absolute pleasure. Love you.
All right. Love you.
Love you, man. Take care.
Bye.